Good evening, welcome back. We are here with the game after a bit of a wait, but we are here with the second game of the night, or at least on this stream, the actual third game of the entire competition, because we have got ourselves two winners here. There's 4 teams in Group A, and 2 of those teams are moving on to the playoffs, and it's being decided in a double elimination bracket. And so we have the winners bracket finals here first. We are going to see the Balkan Bears taking on House of Gamers. That also means that at the same time there's a loser bracket finals going on, and that's going to be He United taking on Compass Gamers. Compass Gaming. Damn, I know that. Good. So, but we're going to see the winners bracket finals because obviously these should be the 2 better teams and we want to see best teams, best Dota. Let's just jump ourselves into the draft. I'm of course not alone. Once again, am I joined by G-Advance. G-Advance, the Balkan Bears are the only team so far that we have seen. Are you familiar with the House of Gamers? Hello? Hello? Hello, you're still muted.
Alright, I'm an idiot again. No
Welcome
worries,
back.
guys. I always have the mute button on. Yeah, I know Maglev Gank Train, and the only reason I've remembered his name from absolutely ages ago when the last time I saw him is purely because he has a cool last name.
Well,
But
I know mango
otherwise,
banana
yeah.
because it's fruit.
I mean, are you saying you know the fruit?
I
or
actually,
you
I have
just-
seen him
or you
play
actually know the
before.
guy?
I have seen him play
Okay,
before. I can't remember where, but I recognize the name because fruit. A mango and banana is really cool. If you put it together in a juice, it's like so tasty.
That does sound pretty tasty, but is it as cool a name as Maglev Gank Train? Let's be
I
fair
don't know
here.
what maglev is.
You don't know what a maglev is?
No.
It's magnetic levitating. It's like a floating train.
Ooh, it's
Yeah.
like Magneto. Magneto
Yeah,
can
it's
float.
sort of like Magneto. Can he float? I can't remember.
I think so.
I think he can float, yeah.
Because he can basically keep himself under control with all the iron. Yeah, okay. So game! Dota 2! Sorry. I got myself
That's
there before
fine,
I went too far into that. But we've got the Balkan Bears with something entirely different this time. First of all, because the Dazzle is removed, even though Dazzle wasn't in their team this last game, of course. But the Ember Spirit is removed as well. Invoker and Assassin again removed, this time by Balkan Bears, as it was Invoker was removed by Balkan Bears previous time, but banned against them in the previous game. But Ancient Apparition game, or hero number 1, wow, English is hard.
Yes.
Yes. So I just figured, I'd be quiet and hope that you talk to, just get my mess out of the way.
Yeah, but these early heroes that picked up so far, I mean, Balkan Bears, they've only picked up the AA, right? That's not a hero, that has much in the way of actually moving very aggressively. House of Gamers, on the other hand, they pick up Clockwork and Visage, great initiation and great range damage as well there. Clockwork can hook into somebody and Visage can just soul assumption them from very far away, and they'll kill them pretty quickly and easily with that. It's a pretty high damage combo there that's actually very good versus Nature's Prophet. I was going to say, you don't want heroes like Nature's Prophet because he suffers terribly versus Clockwork, but apparently Balkan Bears don't care.
Well, you know what would make Balkan Bears' lineup complete right now?
Go on.
Spectre, Zeus.
They could do that. They do have the possibility of doing that because they
And
have
I would
two
also
global
say
heroes.
Tinker, but they just banned out Tinker, so there goes that.
Yeah,
one.
they can't pick Tinker now because they banned it, but
Yes.
I don't think they'll go full global strat in this just because it's a bit... it's a bit too cheesy, I think, to play versus a pretty... any real serious team. And I think House of Gamers, I've heard of them doing stuff, I've never actually watched them, but I've heard they're pretty good.
And obviously, they just won their match. So,
Yeah, exactly.
they win games. That's at least something that we know about them, so you can't really underestimate them. And that's something that I kind of like about these tournaments as well, where fairly unknown teams face each other. And perhaps, of course, they know each other. That could definitely be the case. But you kind of can't go for anything cheesy. You kind of can't permit yourself to underestimate your opponent because you don't know what they can do. You don't know what they're going to do, how good they are, what their weaknesses are, what their strengths are. You just have to focus only on you, your play style, and how you are going to work your lineup to be the better one.
Yeah, and it's one of the things that makes the drafting phase, I think, more interesting during these sorts of games, because you genuinely don't know what some of the teams are going to go for. I don't think either of us saw the last pick Viper coming out in the last game by Balkan Bears, for instance. Like, whereas if this was like a Fnatic game or something, you'd know there's like a certain chance that they'll just pick Wisp and Tiny. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly. And that's not the case here. We do see a Slaughter, which is kind of interesting, because House of Gamers are actually the one that banned out the Dazzle themselves. Now, often we see a Dazzle combine up with a Slaughter, and not only because of the minus armor, but also because Slaughter is someone, or a hero rather, who just, he is in the fight, and having him healed up during the fight, having a grave for him to live a little while longer, can make an immense amount of difference. So, kind of curious to see how they're going to work with Slaughter into this one, especially since Clockwork Slaughter could be kind of troublesome. I mean, this Slaughter has to get a Blink Dagger very fast, because otherwise there's going to be cogs, and there's a Slaughter that can't get in to attack the opponent that they were going for or something if he doesn't have a Blink Dagger. So they have to be wary for that one. I like how they ban out the Lycan and the Death Prophet. I mean, they see Nature's Prophet and they see the globalness, and they don't want to deal with extra push. So it's just remove push is just the general theme here for House of Gamers. I like it.
Yeah, smart decision for them, especially if they are going for things like Slardar, because Slardar is an awful counter-push hero. Like one of the worst heroes for it. I mean, he has a very specific role, like you mentioned. He is just there for getting in the fight, being very aggressive, put that minus armor on someone, and focus them hard. And, well, House of Gamers have actually picked up a team which is very reliant on jumping on the enemy team. Yeah. I mean, they have 3 heroes here who want to initiate. Storm Spirit, Clockwork, Slardar. Storm's not as much as the others. He more sort of wants to dance around the fight and pick people off like that. He wants somebody else to go in first, basically, because, I don't know, Storm is a bit of a wimp, but, well, he's not wimpy. He's just like, he wants somebody else to get in the fight for him, because he knows he can't take as much damage, but Slardar and Clockwork, those are heroes that will jump on you and have no problem being hit or going underneath a tower.
Yeah, and all especially counters to Nature's Prophet. And if that Storm Spirit gets an Orchid, it is not just Nature's Prophet that he can jump on. Also, Weaver is not going to be safe. So it's kind of risky for the Balkan Bears to have a bit of a decent mid-game. So far, Weaver is not that decent in the mid-game. I mean, he's evasive, yes, and he can definitely do things, but he can't really be active in fights to be, like, he has to be able to farm on the sidelines as well, while being, maybe having a bit of presence in the game, but they don't really have an initiator. They only have kind of got split push. So I'm kind of worried that they're gonna get run over.
Yeah, it feels like they have to get somebody in their draft now who can either extend the amount of time that they can survive in the fights for, i.e. a hero like Dazzle, which very sadly for them, not in the pool anymore, or somebody who can just who can take the hits. And to be fair, are there many heroes in the pool who can take hits from Slardar, Clockwork, and Storm Spirit?
Dragon Knight.
Even Dragon Knight might struggle with that, although it would be, that's definitely a possible option. And it helps with their push as well, which is something, they want to be able to take out that tier 1 tower quickly. It's something Dragon Knight, he does it for a living. And
at least he is okay-ish against the Storm. I mean, it's not the best hero, but he's able to farm against Storm, which is, of course, important.
Dragon Knight's never the best hero in any matchup. He's always second, but he's always okay with that. That's, it's part of the charm of the Dragon Knight.
Yeah. Well, so far the Balkan Bears seem a bit stuck because they are using all of their bonus time to think about what they want to have next, and end up going for a Witch Doctor. This looks very much like a Power Rangers lineup where they went for Vengeful Spirit, Witch Doctor, Ancient Operation, Aggressive Tri Lane.
Yeah, and that's possibly a doable option for them. That would put the Nature's Prophet probably in the middle lane again, which, I mean, we've seen it once already. That was the different team, though.
Yeah, it was used against them, though, so they know.
Yeah, they know how annoying it can be to deal with, and it's pretty good. It's a good way of making sure that Nature's Prophet actually does free farm early on, and normally that's one of the few issues you have with picking up a Nature's Prophet, which is if you put him in the jungle, he farms slow. If you put him in the off lane, he's probably going to get zoned a fair amount, so he could go into the middle lane. House of Gamers, they do take out that DK. It would have been a good option for them. Probably still would have died a fair amount, just because House of Gamers' initiation is ridiculous right now at this point. But At the moment, I think this Balkan Bear's last pick is going to be... It's going to have to be something special and unique here, I would say.
Yeah, I like the Dragonite ban out. Makes me feel like I'm right. Which is always a good thing. But House of Gamers...
You feel smart now.
Yes, I do. Do. Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you.
We'll get you like an award slip.
I wanna. Can I get a mug? You know, with say like
mug.
Smart person.
World's smartest Shiva.
You know, not specifically Shiva because there's only one of them or two actually.
Yeah, that was my point.
There's two.
Sorry,
at least I'm smarter than the other
this
Shiva.
is harsh.
But it's
yeah,
like,
okay.
5 seconds remaining.
You know, yeah, I wouldn't mind that. A mug, smart person, drinking this coffee or something. You know, it can be, but it's yeah. It's logical that they ban it out. I mean, that's also why I mentioned it, of course. They need something sturdy that can do things and that won't die instantly while having the minus armor on him, and while being mobile, while being able to push. I'm curious to see if the Balkan Bears are actually going to go for the Vengeful Spirit carry, because it is very situational. However, if it works, if they put Weaver safe lane, Nature's Prophet mid, Witch Doctor and AA on the bottom lane together with any other carry. I mean, I named Vengeful Spirit because we have seen it before with Power Rangers. But if they go for that and they win that aggressive tri-lane, the thing about Slardar is that if he gets shut down, I mean, I mentioned he needs his Blink Dagger. If they shut him down, they have a very strong case. And oh my god,
wow.
Are they listening
Taken
to
from?
the cast? Or what?
What is this?
But minus
why
armor
is there
stack.
a Morphling here? I'm very confused now. Balkan Bears?
It's a mid Morphling?
Yeah, I guess it is. Interesting. That's not a good matchup, I would say, personally. I mean, this Morphling is in serious danger throughout the mid-game here, and... Well, it's a good, smart pick from House of Gamers there, taking up the Vengeful Spirit for them. It works well with their Visage, it works well with their whole lineup, which is built around doing a lot of damage in a short amount of time, but Balkan Bears actually picking up the Morphling, this is very all-in from them. This is very dangerous.
Very risky. I agree. It seems like a bit of a standalone pick. I mean, if you look at their lineup, it all kind of fits, because the Witch Doctor... The thing about a Witch Doctor and Ancient Apparition combination is the Maledict combined up with the right-click damage that you can increase with the Chilling Touch and the Cold Feet means that you only have to hit your target once, and maybe with a Cold Feet there too, that he'll die from the curse. That's the scary thing about this combination. They don't necessarily need a third, but it looks like they are going to go for an aggressive tri-lane here. I mean, that fits. The Weaver fits because they need something split pushy, and apparently also that can go on the off lane with this aggressive tri-lane. Nature's Prophet fits global with the Ancient Apparition. I mean, the Morphling is just the one that's kind of the odd one out here. We're going to see how it goes. Let's take a look at who is playing what. Once again, you are watching the Dota 2 Spring Cup. We're seeing 4 groups with 1 group per day. So this is Group A, and we're gonna see 1 game, so best out of 1 mini double elimination brackets for each of the groups. We're gonna have Dr. Man playing the Morphling this game. Well, not the Morphling. This is the Ancient Apparition. I mean, he's blue too, right? Ancient Apparition for Dr. Man. Spacey will play the Witch Doctor this game. We're gonna see Mitza playing the Weaver. On the top lane, it is Karag playing the Nature's Prophet, and then last but not least, it is Licious playing Morphling in the mid lane. And of course, I just introduced to you the Balkan Bears, who, by the way, are not all from Romania. I mean, this is organized by Dota 2 Romania, but the stand-ins are actually from
one of them said Sweden?
And the other one Lithuania.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
Yes. They're like European team.
And House of Gamers, which I do believe is a Swedish team. I'm not sure if maybe their stand-in is a foreign player. I don't know, but they have a defensive tri-lane here. They have Maglev Gank Train as well as Key as their support. Maglev Gank Train on the Vengeful Spirit, Key on the Visage. Malem, I think is how you pronounce that. He's going to be picking up the Slardar in the carry role in the middle lane. It's okay. What? How am I meant to pronounce that?
I can help you. It's Saikurasai. Right.
It's Saikurasai. That's a lot easier to pronounce, but it's daunting at first, you know? Look at that. That's not her name.
Saikurasai. I thought
Okay.
at first thought it was Korea J, but there's an S there too. So
Yeah,
Psych or
I
Psy.
thought it was something with Korea in the name, but it's not. He's going to be on the Storm Spirit, and well, last is going to be the stand-in for the team, the Mango Banana.
I think he's Swedish.
It's going to be the Clockwork. Is he Swedish? I don't know.
I think so. I'm very happy to see this aggressive tri-lane because so far I've only seen it for Power Rangers, and it worked so well that I was surprised that we didn't see it more, because that curse, which he didn't spec by the way, it's so deadly. The chilling touch also is so deadly, and again, if they shut down the Slaughter, the thing about Slaughter is that it's a mid-game carry. If they can't farm that guy up, they're gonna be having a bit of issues with making him useful in the game, because if he gets behind, I mean, he is still the one to go in first, right? And he'll probably use his sprint to do it too, which means he's extra squishy, which means he kind of needs to be ahead to be able to tank all the damage up, and if he can't, well, he'll just die very fast. Especially if there's a Weaver that is actually getting last hits, which is the case right
Yeah,
now.
absolutely agree. I mean, the thing with Slardar is he needs basically either a BKB or a Vanguard, depending on, what's on the enemy team and at what stage of the game he goes for it, and a Blink Dagger. That's it. That's all he needs, but he absolutely needs those, because he's pretty much built entirely around jumping in, slithering, crushing, and then amping somebody and focusing them down. And if he can't do that, which is very difficult to do without a Blink Dagger, especially when you have the potential that your own Clockwork can get in the way of you, it's very difficult for him this game, but I mean, for the moment, this tri-lane is pretty in favor.
They go
of
for
it.
this though. The crush comes out on Spacey. It is Key that is also in some trouble. There's 2 kills, but the first lot goes the way of the Malev Gangstrain, who is gonna die now as well. That's another kill going the way of the Balkan Bears. It's only the core hero that survives. Nature's Prophet actually teleporting in to help to make that happen, as he did also get the kill for that, so that's nice for him. But that is why you either get a kill or you don't try at all. That's the thing about a Witch Doctor, because they went in because they knew that the Paralyzing Cask was on cooldown. If it's not on cooldown, you can't really initiate, because you can just get perma-stunned if you stand together with your teammate. But the moment that's on cooldown, they can go, and they know that.
Yeah, and the thing is this tri-lane is very interesting here, because the Weaver, the Geminate attacks do get the extra damage from that Chilling Touch, so he can put out an absolute ton of damage with Chilling Touch on, but as soon as that's down, as soon as like you said, the cask is down, both of them are on fairly long cooldowns.
Yeah.
There's a lot of downtime. If the side of Balkan Bears wastes one of their cooldowns, even if it's just a Sakuchi at this point, they put themselves in a very vulnerable position, whereas, for instance, the Visage, 4-second cooldown on Soul Assumption, that's basically nothing.
It is, the downside for that one is, of course, that it is super expensive. But then again, he's sitting on a full mana bar, especially because he just died. So next engagement, he's gonna have 2 of those again. In terms of mana pool, of course, is what I'm talking about. It's a very scary lane here for House of Gamers, but it can be very rewarding as well, because it can turn around so fast just because they have a Visage. And we actually see that Witch Doctor is, he was just going for the rune, I guess, trying to see if he can find one, as Nature's Prophet actually got it on the top lane. Regen rune taken from the Storm Spirit, who is, by the way, almost level 6. He's 30 to 12, with Licious on his Morphling only 8 to 1. This is trouble, and talking about trouble, bottom lane has some trouble as well. Key is actually dead. That's gonna be 1 kill extra here on the bottom lane. Can they take down Milim as well? No, they cannot. Hasted away, but that Storm Spirit is gonna wreck things soon.
Yeah, this Storm Spirit absolutely destroying the Morphling in the middle lane. That's pretty much to be expected. The difficult thing about this is that this Morphling in the middle lane, generally the way it's been used more recently, since, the last time we really saw Morphling popular in the mid lane was a long, long time ago, and Morphling was very different then, but now, generally, is people they morph a lot into agility just so they can outlast it, and you can't really do that versus Storm Spirit, because he's just going to walk up to you and Static Remnant, and if you morph too much agility, you're going to take a ton of damage right there, and wow. Playing Clockwork.
Yeah, that's a rotation. Clockwork was doing really well last hit as well. I was actually following the Vengeful Spirit a bit, because she is actually helping the courier a bit. She was the courier. To make sure that the bottle could be bottle crow to the Storm Spirit, she took the items from the Slardar to the Slardar. which was kind of funny.
Interesting.
But yeah, Clockwork died. Actually, Witch Doctor rotating top kind of means that they've probably given up on the aggression of the bottom lane. Not giving up completely, of course. They still want to try to make the life of the Slardar more difficult, but they're not committing full 3 heroes to it anymore, or at least not for the moment.
Yeah, and that's the nice thing about running a Weaver aggressive tri-lane is if you'd have to, you can just leave the Weaver here on his own, and he'll mostly be okay. If he gets caught out under a sentry, he'll probably die, but they don't have one of them up at the moment, and they only have one in the inventory of the Venge, so not exactly easy to get that kill.
Not at all. Witch Doctor actually, with a double damage rune now rotating mid, he has to be careful because this Storm is level 7, and I think he can blow this Witch Doctor up. I mean, it's nighttime, so obviously he doesn't see him yet until he actually throws out a stun, which he does now, but Sai is not going for it just yet. I'm kind of waiting for this Storm to start rotating, but perhaps he just wants to have his farm up a little bit more before he actually starts to do that. I mean, there's no rush for him to rotate because his partners in crime... Yes, Clockwork is pretty farmed and is level 7 as well, but they have to wait until the Slaughter is more farmed anyway. However, he's finally getting something now in this bottom lane, so perhaps they just don't want to interrupt his farm.
Yeah, and the thing is the Storm Spirit doesn't have to worry too much about getting a ton done early this game, I don't think, because if you actually look at the side of the Balkan Bears lineup, they have very little in the way of hard stuns that can lock down a Storm Spirit. They're going to have to rely on possibly a Hex coming out at some point from Karak on the Nature's Prophet, and I mean, that's not exactly happening soon, right? So, for the moment, he knows that he doesn't have to be, incredibly active before people can actually stop him, because, well, he's got a lot of time on his hands.
Yeah, I think Clockwork is ready to hookshot in mid.
It looks like it, but this is not an easy kill to get. I mean,
not at all. He can just
Waveform is a very good
top.
escape. Yeah, exactly. They can maybe burst him, but it's pretty difficult.
If they hookshot and Vortex, they don't have anything else. He can still morph into strength. I'd say it's close to impossible. Perhaps he's just waiting for the 8-minute rune, which he is actually not getting because it's an invis rune on bottom, which is already protected by the bears. Yeah, he's gonna give up. He's gonna go back to top. That's a lot of wasted time for Mango Banana right there.
Yeah, and it's surprising really because you'd think that he would just go for Karak because, I mean, Clockwork is a great hero for solo killing off a Nature's Prophet, although, that said, Karak is playing this very, very safe and very sensibly here. He's constantly putting the trees right next to him. So even if he does get hooked right now, the Battery Assault will only do around a third of the damage that it would normally do, because he's next to these two treants, and right now it would do even less damage.
Yeah. And on top of that, Witch Doctor has a teleport in his inventory, and he's already shown that he's not afraid to teleport in and try and kill that Clockwork off. Ancient Apparition, on the other hand, doesn't have a teleport. However, he is getting some more levels now that, of course, Witch Doctor was away. He is close to level 6, which is, of course, a very important level for him to be at, as we do have a rotation. It is Vengeful Spirit that went towards the top lane, so Nature's Prophet is going to be the target. Oh, hello, Treant. Vengeful Spirit is already scouted out. Should be not getting in range of its stun anymore. Yep, there we go. And Witch Doctor teleporting in, of course, as well. Actually cancelling his teleport. And they're going to try to maybe go on bottom, knowing now that the Vengeful Spirit is top. They might as well. Where's the Chilling Touch? There it is. They go for Key. Key is a goner. That is number 1 down. They don't get anything in return for it. Melem seems to be safe for the moment. Perhaps now with the Clockwork. Oh, the creep blocking the hook shot. Cold Feet coming out. The Cogs as well. But Mango Banana, he might actually get stunned. He will. The Crush comes out, making sure that Dr. Man and Mita can't go in on Mango Banana. But he still goes down. Nature's Prophet coming in as well. Now Melem in trouble. He is trying to get himself out of there, but Nature's Prophet might dive him. It is a Weaver that doesn't have enough mana for a timeless, but the heal from the Witch Doctor keeps him alive. It is still kills going the way of the Balkan Bears, with no return kills for House of Gamers.
Yeah, and this is surprising because they've been very close to killing off multiple people in that fight, and just small little mistakes are really hurting House of Gamers at this point, but Licious is also here on the bottom lane. He's picked up an Invis rune and is just... I'm not sure what he's hunting for. I guess he's just going to go back and farm now, but... Yeah, a Hog, they need to be a little bit worried here because rotating around, moving people around the map a lot, and, well, it's done nothing other than get them killed for the moment. And, like you said, they have a lineup that it could be very worrying for them if they get behind, because their Slardar, he needs a blink, he also needs HP items. And he's actually just going to turn around and buy treads, even though he's really close to Blink then. Just realizing that getting a naked Blink at this point in the game is just going to get you killed easier. Because you're going to dive into 4 people with 600 health and
Chilling
possibly
touch.
even trying to sprint on. And Chilling Touch is going to do a ton of damage, especially because that Weaver.
Yeah, we also have Ancient Deprivation now sitting at level 6, so he's got his ult up. And I think this could be the start of more aggression maybe for the Balkan Bears. Then on the other side, their lineup doesn't necessarily scream aggression. It is more like, we're gonna farm and split push and kill you whenever you come at us kind of lineup. And so far, they have been doing exactly that.
Yeah, they're playing at a relatively slow pace at this point, but it's not like it hurts them.
Bottom lane, A ult already coming out. Slardar getting the curse. The damage coming out as well. The crush is still interrupting the Death Ward, and Spacey actually has to run very fast. The Soul Assumption did not kill him off. Clockwork looking for something. Can't really find a hookshot positioning though. And it is actually Malin that will survive. He gets a salve as well. But he lives, which is of course good. But, you know, they don't get anything. They don't get any farm. Malin interrupted in farm again. And treads are nice and everything. But they are starting to fall behind. And I was thinking Storm is going to be the one to pull this back together. He is still highest on net worth, don't get me wrong, but he doesn't really have that much impact yet. He is going for an Orchid, and perhaps it will change when he has that, but for now, he's just continuing to farm.
Yeah, at this point, I guess he's still just waiting on that Orchid. It will be a great item for them. I mean, we talked about the advantages that their hero lineup has possibly versus the Balkan Bears, because they have a lot of heroes that want to be off on their own, split pushing, and an Orchid Storm Spirit is fantastic against that, but the problem is that right now they're getting beaten pretty bad.
There was an invisible, oh god, there was an invisible Clockwork. He is actually still gonna die by the looks of it. He's gonna shatter if he's not careful. Yep, there we go. Shattered indeed. 1 for 1 so far with the amplified damage up on the Weaver, but it is the Hog that runs, or is it? Weaver still doesn't have time lapse, goes down there. Swap interrupting the Death Ward from Spacey, still gets the curse off for the Slardar, but there's no damage following it, so that curse won't do anything at all, and that is another kill going the way of Hog, who are finally getting something done here on this bottom lane. I mean, that Clockwork versus the AA looked really, really stupid.
I didn't actually see what happened to the Clockwork, but the rest of it, a pretty good fight for the side of Hog. I mean, BB they get 1 kill from it, but Hog seriously needed to get some kills on the board. They needed Malum in particular to actually get some gold, because he was falling far behind, and I mean, it's not like Slardar's a great farming hero. You know, you have to get kills with that hero. That's pretty much all he does. He doesn't push, he doesn't counter push, he doesn't split push, he doesn't farm, he just kills people.
He runs at you, blinks at you, stuns you, and kills you, as we have got Vengeance in trouble, so he's out of mana, can't really throw out a stun. He's trying to survive the harassment though, and actually successfully so, because in comes the cavalry. In terms of a Storm Spirit, the paralyzing cask still hits though, and it's not enough actually to survive, or to save the Witch Doctor, who is still gonna get picked up there. Good rotation from the Storm Spirit, who really has to make his rotations worth it, because right now he's the most valuable player. It is going to be the Weaver that they want. The time lapse, it's going to be there, and he's going to be able to survive through it all. Storm Spirit, though, still going for the kills. Gets himself a kill in the Ancient Deprivation, and is able to walk away from it, or is he? Morphling, still getting a weave form out, but he is not able to kill off that Storm, and Storm is able to walk away, and I think 1 step closer to having his Orchid ready. He at least has the second Oblivion staff ready.
Yeah, this Orchid's getting very, very close at this point, and I'm surprised that the Morphling is turning up to these fights, because he's going to very much need some items soon, because otherwise he's going to be food. He knows his allies, some of his allies are already going to be food anyway. For instance, the Nature's Prophet, even though he's going for a mech, will probably still die to pretty much any Storm Spirit gank, unless some serious help comes around, but I mean, for the moment, I'm pretty worried about the Balkan Bears, actually, because, like I said, this Morphling, I just don't quite get what it's meant to do at this point. He obviously wasn't going to get much farm, he's not got much farm, and it's not like he's a great killing hero either, and the heroes like Storm Spirit excel against him.
And one thing I want to point out is that we're 15 minutes into the game. Oh, bye, Halem. Nice crush, and actually still on the edge of the Death Ward. I think the curse will take him down,
he's just going to try and...
Or will it? It's
he's going to try and TP.
Curse. He gets out. He's fine. I was never worried.
I was pretty convinced he was dead.
Oh, well, I figured, you know what, I'd pretend to be never worried. Visage still goes down, so at least they get something for all these rotations coming out. But, of course, that Slardar is the one that they really want, and so far has not died yet, picked up 2 kills, and is actually starting to look a bit more decent in terms of net worth. Now with that tower dying, and kind of making my point that I was just making a bit moot again, he is a bit further behind, of course, compared to the course of BB, but he is not that far behind compared to the Morphling and the Weaver.
Yeah, and the thing is the heroes like Storm Spirit or Slardar, they're not reliant as much on, you know, a huge amount of gold. They're reliant on very small key items, things like Orchid, things like Blink Dagger, that basically just augment their hero only very slightly, but give them the ability to pick off heroes. And whereas for something like a Morphling, I mean, you could argue the same thing in that he could go for an E-Blade, but E-Blade's a lot more expensive than an Orchid or a Blink Dagger, and has possibly about the same sort of effect. So, you know, Morphling needs more items, Nature's Prophet needs more items, even the Weaver really needs more items, and looks like they're going on the top lane here.
Oops, yep, there they are. Witch Doctor is going to be picked off, but at least they get something in return. They get the Vengeful Spirit, perhaps a Clockwork, but he is teleporting out. He, by the way, also finished up his Blade Mail. 1-for-1 trade, support for support. Not that big of a deal, unless Balkan Bears get a tower in return for this. In the meantime, we do have Licious getting chased down, but actually, well, not entirely chased down, he was invisible, so Visage actually did not see that he was chasing him down. But they're gonna try to take a return tower. I think Licious can at least deny it, or maybe even stop it from happening. In comes an AA ult. He wants to try and take something down here. It comes out, and it's gonna be able to. He's gonna be able to take down the Storm. That's an immensely huge kill for him. That slows down that Orchid by so much.
Yeah, he loses a fair amount of gold from that. He's on the sidelines for another 30 seconds. It's basically an added minute onto the time for that, and that's key because it's one small item that allows him to get a lot of kills and snowball very fast. And at this point,
one small item for Storm Spirit, a giant leap for Team House of Gamers. Sorry, I had to.
Yeah, but that's terrible. But great coordination from Balkan Bears, actually. It's something I've been impressed with in these past couple of games, is they've made some very small plays that have worked together and just got themselves extra little kills where really they didn't have much of a chance to, and that was one of them. I mean, Storm Spirit, like I said, he's perfect versus some of the heroes on Balkan Bears, because they have hardly any lockdown. He's very good at ganking split pushes, but they still managed to pick him off there. I mean, purely through coordination.
Yeah. And on the other side, we've got House of Gamers finally finishing up his Blink Dagger, but he is going to be in some trouble. There's a hate train coming towards him. At the same time, there's also a hate train waiting to happen on Mista, who actually will die first. Hookshot will still come out. The time lapse still comes out in time, but can he actually get away? He might be able to. The swap is there into the sanctuary where he's trying to run away. The crash comes out, hits him, kills him. A ult will miss. We do have some people coming in to try and help out, but it's too little, too late, and it might actually end up in them dying as well. At least Spacey tries to do what he can, gets a soul sumption in the face while the Nature's Prophet goes down as well. And there is only one hero left alive on the side of the Balkan Bears. It is the Morphling, who was never in the fight, but that was bad. That was bad for the Balkan Bears. They tried to help the Weaver, failed at that, and then threw their lives at House of Gamers as well. That is exactly what they needed. That is Slardar Blink Dagger action, and all of a sudden he almost has enough gold for a second Blink Dagger, which he's of course not going to get, but he's all of a sudden rich again. He was struggling to get that Blink Dagger, and now he's rich. That's how
yeah,
fast
he's
that
been
goes.
struggling this whole time to get a Blink Dagger. He even tried to rush it with just brown boots at first, gave up on that, and now he has almost the gold to get it again. Storm Spirit's going to have his Orchid as well. He's even got a Void Stone added onto that, so yeah, this is the start of the snowball for House of Gamers, and the Balkan Bears need to be very careful at this point. They basically need to keep themselves split up. I think the problem there was they actually tried to save people who are probably going to die either way.
Yeah, as Weaver gets picked up here, the Orchid doing some work. At least they're going to get Vengeful Spirit in return, but Storm is able to teleport himself out. What would you give for a Disruptor now? As they, of course, played that in the previous game. That's why I said it. By the way, when that fight was going on, or when that fight was over, I should say, Visage actually went mid and took down a tier 1 tower there on the side of Balkan Bears. And now with those extra towers down on the side of Balkan Bears, they are quite a bit of gold behind. 4k gold in favor of House of Gamers. Now, it's really, I mean, that's still, you know, nothing too scary. But if you compare it to the rest of the games, or the rest of the game, I should say, as we see Witch Doctor getting picked off there, then it's starting to look scary because it is a very, very steep lineup.
Yeah, and the thing is they have a naturally great lineup versus Balkan Bears. Split push does not typically do well versus seriously gank-heavy lineups, and this is exactly what it is on House of Gamers. They have 3 ganking cores, 3 cores that just want to fight and kill people, and they're actually going to smoke up now, right in the middle lane here, spotted out by a ward, so this is kind of obvious. And the Balkan Bears, they just need to keep themselves split up. They need to make sure that people on House of Gamers can't just group up 5 men and destroy them in a fight and then like take a tower or 2, because that would be absolutely terrible at this point. And Balkan Bears, they need their core items up at this point. Mister, he's well away from having the BKB that he's running for, and actually he's been gone on by Malum again. I don't think Malum can kill him.
No, he cannot. Nature's Prophet coming in as well. This could be the end of Malum. The AOD will not hit on him, but I don't think it matters. He tries to get himself out, and he is not able to do it because Nature's Prophet gets the last hit there. Dominating streak gold given to him in that turn as well, and he actually finishes up his level 1 Necronomicon with that. And
what is this eclectic item build?
Oh,
Alright, so he's gonna get the Force Staff first.
Yeah, because the Force Staff is now done. Well, depending on which one the recipe favors, right? Because he has both ready, but he can only choose one because there's one Mystic Staff, Staff of Wizardry rather.
Yeah, he has to choose between one or the other. I think he's gonna pick up the Force first if he's smart about it.
I don't think he's
no,
choosing
he's got the
at all.
Necronomicon. No,
Like,
he
just
doesn't
sent
actually have a choice there.
Well, he could have had a choice, but he opted not to. Interesting.
Well, he's got a Necro book now. But
Yes.
Force Staff would have been probably the better item at this point, because they need people to get people out of the fight when they're initiated on by the Storm Spirit or by the Slardar, and well, he's gone for Necronomicon instead. I mean, it has its other uses.
Licious, you're so dead, dude. Nice pick off.
Yeah.
With no cavalry incoming, this should be cause for alarm bells on the side of House of Gamers. The reason for that is, of course, that Roshan is being attempted, which is going really, really slow because there's no minus armor, no medallion, and I mean, this is probably one of the slower Roshans that we've seen today. And they're giving up a kill on the
They'll get it eventually,
Morphling.
I'm sure.
They're giving up a kill on the tier 2 tower. And I wouldn't be surprised if they also get a tier 2 on the top lane on the side of House of Gamers, because they're rotating there right now. And that would actually not be worth it for Balkan Bears. Well, they get it before their tier 2 dies, on the top lane at least, but it's questionable. Especially since it doesn't look like they want to defend.
It's pretty questionable, but at the very least they do still get that Roshan. I mean, that's the key thing there. It could have been a lot worse. For instance, the Storm Spirit could have walked by and used a static remnant, and then they would have known they're there as well. So they would have got the tier 2, the kill on the Morphling, and then probably stop them doing the Rosh as well.
Yeah,
so
that could have happened.
At the very least, though, I'm interested to see what this Storm Spirit goes for as his next item, because he's saving up a lot of gold here. Do you think this is going to be a Bloodstone or a Hex game? Because, I mean, Hex is great versus Weaver and such, but imagine if he gets a Bloodstone now, can he actually die?
I'd say still Hex, though. Oh, Hookshot finds himself Mr. Man, Dr. Man, rather, and Dr. Man is dead, as, the Clockwork actually gets credit. They still get the paralyzing cask off. Actually, missed time lapse is not there. The Aegis gets burned straight away. They do get a nice Witch Doctor ult up on the hill. However, nobody is close anymore on the side of House of Gamers, who try to run as fast as they can. By the way, that is a Vengeful Spirit with a Blink Dagger as he swaps his teammate into safety, lands a stun, Soul Assumption as well, and all of a sudden it is Nature's Prophet that was in trouble, but in comes Morphling, savior of the day, and the Sprout will reveal Vengeful Spirit, but they cannot stop her from teleporting out. The cast came out too late. They still, they got the Slardar, which was great. They got the Visage as well. And I mean, they only lost the Aegis. Weaver did not actually die in the end. I guess it's a good trade. It's worth it. Yeah.
Oh, Mango Banana gets hit by the AAL and
in the
sniped
base.
in the middle lane there. He got hit by the Nature's Prophet ult as well. He was going to die to just the AA, but apparently Furion wanted to KS.
Nicely done, though. I mean, that's a good combination to have for sure. I mean, that's their combination, as we have actually got Sai taking out a tier 1 tower on the bottom lane by himself, so he gets the gold, and he also goes for a Lincoln's.
Alright, so we're both complete idiots. I thought he was going to go for a Bloodstone this game, but I mean, Lincoln's means that, I mean, it's basically the same effect. He won't snowball as hard as if he had a Bloodstone, but it's the same effect defensively. He basically becomes invincible at this point, unless they burst him down with just like an E-Blade or something, which is miles off because the Morphling has just picked up his Lincoln Sphere at this point, so that's a long way off getting an item like that.
Imagine you're Morphling, solo mid Morphling, you're up against a Storm, and then Storm has got the same items as you, plus one item, and you just got that one item.
Yeah,
That's
not
basically
exactly an easy option for him.
And that
He's
is
actually
also
got
a gem
as well.
Yeah.
So they're aiming for kills on the Weaver then, I guess, because they only need if they were going for the Hex, then they would use it to kill the Morphling.
Using that Vengeful Spirit as bait, in comes a time lapse straight away because they saw the trap when it was laid out for them. I'm not sure if it's going to be in time though, as we have with the Witch Doctor as well as Ancient Apparition already blown up, and Mitsa will join them in their grave. That is going to be 3 quick kills, all because Maglev Gank Train was baiting things out. And they can go high ground with this as well.
That was a Maglev gank train there, because everybody got caught out in a position, and Malem jumped on top of them, got like a 3-man slithering clutch, and yeah, they're just going straight up to the high ground. I mean, why not?
Why not indeed? That's a tier 3 tower and possibly a Rex gone. There's really nothing that the Balkan Bears can do against it. I mean, even if they were alive, the Weaver doesn't really have any gold yet either. He is kind of in the same boat as a Morphling in normal games. I mean, you want to have a defensive item before you start building into damage, as I don't know why Ancient Apparition teleported in there, but that was a suicide teleport, especially considering that an Ancient Apparition wants to be far away so he can have a bigger AoE on his ultimate, so that was kind of questionable for sure. That's
and
that's
it looks like that's a full lane of Wrecked, and House of Gamers here, they're setting a trap. They've actually gone up the high ground. They're going to turn around. Oh, I hope misses on correct though.
I don't think it matters because Storm already bought himself in. That's one, that's two. Looking for a third. It's going to be Karak or Licious that's going to be the target. Can he find something more? He's out of mana actually. He's not running fast enough to catch up, but in comes Venge, blinking forward, stunning up his opponent, and that is going to be Vengeful Spear taking the kill before the Visage can snipe that away with the Soul Assumption. That's going to be another extra 3 people dead. I say 3, I mean 4 because I'm not sure if I can count Ancient Apparition teleporting into his doom. I guess I can't, because that was still with the previous fight.
That wasn't part of the ambush though.
That was part of the ambush.
Was Ancient Apparition's own crazy mistake. Yeah, I don't know what he was doing there.
But this is starting to look well, it's going from bad to worse. Let's call it that. It's not over, because of course there are still split push possibilities, and if the Balkan Bears can just turtle this and hold on, they can still take this. However, it's gonna get tougher and tougher and tougher, because at this point in the game, 28 minutes in to about, I'd say, like 10 minutes from now, House of Gamers is going to be in their peak of the game. It's going to be their strong moment, and they're going to probably try to just continue their aggression, as we already saw them waiting on the high ground. Something like that you only do if you know that this is your moment to shine.
Yeah, absolutely. At this point, Balkan Bears have to hope for a pretty big miracle. They're going to have to turtle out the game pretty hard, and
well, they go in again. Spacey already silenced up. This time though, wow, this time still dead. Never mind that. Storm Spirit gets the kill in the end still. The Orchid still got the last hit. We might have Gank Train dying though. Indeed, will still go down. Weaver with the credit. In comes Storm once again with the Vortex up on Licious, who is morphing into strength, gets himself away. But Ancient Apparition not so lucky. Mitsa silenced up, can't time-lapse, also dead. Still gets a kill on the Slaughter though before he goes, so it turns into a 2-on-3. But it is still favorable for House of Gamers, which is the most important thing, of course. And they might actually be able to do some damage here to a tier 3. Because Morphling and Nature's Prophet can't really do that much on their own.
they might even just take this tier 3. I mean, until the Weaver's up, they don't really have enough damage to stop them.
Hook shot. Cogs as well. Push them out of the cogs again. That's interesting. One more. No, you can't do anything. They just have to hope that they go away. Basically that. Harass them a bit.
Yeah, now that they outnumber the House of Gamers, they're gonna actually get them away, but Key's actually in a little bit of trouble here.
Well, Morphling is looking for something as well. Storm is of course not the real one that he can take, as the Sprout goes up on Mango Banana, but he can just hookshot himself to a teammate, who are, by the way, both trying to teleport out, and they will be fine. They will be okay.
Yeah, and look at this item up on Mango Banana at this point. At one point, I looked at him, it was like 10 minutes ago, and he had nothing but Tranquil Boots and a Blade Mail. Now he has a full Aghanim Scepter up on him. Incredible amount of gold on him, especially because the start of this game was really bad for Mango Banana. He basically went like 1-3 or something in the early portion of the game, and that was versus a Nature's Prophet as well, which is a hero he typically does well versus, but I mean, at this point they have such good initiation now.
Well, he was doing okay on last hits until, of course, the rotations came in from the Witch Doctor. But yeah, you're right. He struggled a bit with his farm after the initial letting phase, and all of a sudden, Rich, same story as the Slardar, who has a Vanguard, a BKB, his Blink Dagger. I mean, you wouldn't believe that he was up against an aggressive tri-lane where he actually struggled to get farm. It is only 31 minutes in, and he looks like he just had a normal laning stage.
Yeah, I mean, for a Slardar especially, I mean, if it was another carry hero, you'd look at 31 minutes and you go, that's kind of poor, but Slardar's one of those heroes whose farm's so slow, and this is all on the back of just fighting and getting kills and stuff, and his score isn't even that impressive. He's 4-3-5 at this point, so he's not been involved that much, apparently, but it feels like he's been more involved than that.
Yeah. We have got the gold graph as well as the experience graph looking quite troublesome for the Balkan Bears as well. I mean, as said, this game is not over yet. We actually have also got the BKB on the Weaver, so he can finally start building into damage. Same thing goes for Licious, who has his Lincolns. But they need to turtle this.
Yeah, they can definitely still fight, but
they can't give anything away anymore. Like, another lane of Rax? No, it should not happen. It almost cannot happen, because then they won't have the power to split push it anymore. As Morphling actually is able to pick up a Vengeful Spirit, who was by herself on the top lane.
That's an important kill there, because not only is that a mistake for the Vengeful Spirit, it gives a fair amount of gold away to Balkan Bears, but it also gives them a chance to defend their own towers.
Surprisingly, Melem just checked if the Roshan was there. It wasn't, and the moment that he walks out of the pit, it is there.
Well, that's pretty saddening for him.
Yes.
Especially because he's a great hero for doing Roshan, actually.
Yeah. Amplified damage, why not? BKB is getting popped on the side lane as the Weaver is actually popping it defensively to get away from the storm. Mango Banana has got that hookshot ready, hits it on the Familiar, which is interesting, as Licious was able to take down the Slardar. As the Death Ward is up, there's no heroes to which it goes on though, so Spacey is kind of wasting his time right now. Cold Feet coming out in the Visage. Another hookshot coming out on the side. It's Weaver that goes down to that one. Key will still drop though, so it's one thing they kill that they get in return. Still, it's 2-on-1 in favor of the Balkan Bears actually. However, they don't get that storm, which is of course important. And they all drop so low. They use so much for it. And actually, they're gonna lose more. Hookshot in for Mango Banana again. As the stun comes out and the Witch Doctor should be turning into a kill as well. That's 3 dead. It could be 4 if Agent Deprivation just stands still for a little while, which he does. And I don't know why, but that actually cost him his life. Licious though, he's trying to turn this around, but he finds himself facing a storm, and that is a team-wide buybacks happening, but this could be the start of the end if they die again, which for Dr. Man is already happening. He died now twice in a row, now Morphling buys back, but what can he do? I think it's already proven that he can't do anything, as Nature's Prophet, after buying back, goes down again because he can't take care of a support Vengeful Spirit. However, this support's Vengeful Spirit is level 18 with a blink and a force, and he's still gonna die. There we go, finally. But I mean, that's gonna be Morphling down for the second time this game as well, this fight I should say.
Yeah, and this looks like the end of it. I mean, we saw it in that fight there. No matter what they do to the Storm Spirit, they're never going to finish him off in these fights. Unless he makes a massive misplay, completely uses all of his mana, and then gets bursted heavily by their lineup, he's just never going to die. And, I mean, look at his regen at this point. 43.2. He's huge. Considering he didn't even have that amazing of a start, right? He had a pretty good start. He won his lane hard, but it's not like he got 7 kills in the first 10 minutes.
And I mean, it's not even... Like, they get kill off the Slardar, right? But they use so much on him that they kind of don't leave anything for anything else. So they call the GG, you know, it's understandable. That does mean that we're going to see 3 games in total today with the Balkan Bears. Because now Hog, House of Gamers, have won 2 games in a row, meaning they make it to the playoffs. For Balkan Bears, that remains to be seen. I think that Storm just suicide? Yes, he did. Okay.
Yeah, he did.
I am melting. He's going.
Oh,
Thank
God.
you, Storm. But yeah, we are going to see Balkan Bears again. They're going to be facing the winner of the loser bracket finals. So we don't know yet who that is going to be, but we'll find out soon. It could be that they're up against Hihi again. Could be that they are up against Compass Gaming. One of the two. It's going to happen very soon, so stick around. We'll be with you with the third game of the night for Group A. Third and last game on this stream, at least, for Group A for the Dota 2 Romania Spring Cup. And stick with us. We'll be right back.